From the fallen ruins of the Statue of Liberty, it's the IGN Digigods. Please welcome two men ready to give mocap apes a chance, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
And we're kind of back. Just so that everybody's clear, for about 3 weeks there, we were getting some emails. People were like, are you guys off? What's the deal with the feed? And the feed apparently this was discussed extensively on the Facebook page. The feed was broken somewhere. Apparently, this is how I understand it. Somewhere, WordPress and FeedBurner got into a spat and weren't talking to each other.
I don't know what FeedBurner is, and I kind of know what WordPress is, but that's the best I can do.
I kind of know what I know WordPress is like a blogging tool. I don't know how it figures into podcasts. FeedBurner, I'm just going to assume it burns feeds. Yeah. So, somewhere and it turns out, are you ready for this? It turns out somehow there wound up being an extra space in a URL of some kind, which made FeedBurner just completely lose its mind. And it took a tech to figure that out, and I'm sure he charged about $800 an hour. So anyway, that's all fixed, and so we're back, and here we are.
Aren't you excited that I saw Captain Russia, the summer conscientious objector?
Did you really?
I saw Captain Russia, the summer conscientious objector.
Would you mind telling me what that is exactly?
That's Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Which would have been great if we did this was posted in a more timely fashion, but it was not, thanks to our recently discussed issues.
Well, there we go.
But it's good. It's the second best Marvel movie after the Avengers.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
It's good. Now, somehow, they wound up taking... Marvel's Midas touch is so perfect that they actually looked at these two guys, these brothers, who did nothing but a bunch of sitcoms and the comedy You, Me, and Dupree, and said, here's $125 million. Why don't you do Captain America 2? All they had directed is a bunch of sitcoms and You, Me, and Dupree.
Which is dreadful.
And a couple other nothing things. And you know what? Why don't we have you direct Captain America 2?
Well,
and you know what? Obviously they are greatly indebted to their second unit director.
Yes.
That being said,
you enjoyed it?
Yes, it's the second best Marvel movie. It's a good movie.
The second to
Avengers.
But so Iron Man doesn't factor in there anywhere?
You know what? Send the hate mail to Alt Film Guide, which is who I write for. Actually, you know what? I actually had a line. In the review that I removed, and the line was, it's the second best Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Just next to the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I had written in parentheses, yes, that includes Iron Man. Please send hate mail, care of this website. But I took that out.
Nice.
So I'm just saying, Captain America 2, very good.
So I also want to say at the outset, because of the weird feed freakism, because of the feed burner and WordPress blow up, we had a giveaway that kind of got lost in the shuffle. So we did get some people who sent stuff in, but we want to give everybody a second chance because by the time the feed got fixed, the date that we had kind of set as a sunset for people to apply for the giveaway to send their emails in had expired. So we're going to do this again. Angels in Stardust, which we talked about last week or the week before, one of the two. Yes. With Alicia Silverstone playing a mom, doing a very good job. We're going to give away 3 copies of it. And it's a lovely, sweet family film. If you have kids, they'll love it. If you don't have kids, you'll probably love it. But we're giving away 3 Angels in Stardust. And go ahead and send us an email to gods@digigods.com, gods@digigods.com, with angels in the subject line and your name and address in the body of the email. And 3 people will be chosen at random to receive copies, and we will let you know. We will let you know by Monday, April 6th. And we need your emails stamped by Sunday the 5th. That's right. Is it Sunday the 5th, or are my dates completely wonky? No, Sunday's the 6th, so Monday's the 7th. I take it all back. We'll let you know by Monday the 7th. So your emails need to show a time and date stamp on Sunday, April 6th, no later. If they get to us by Sunday, April 6th, you're all good. We'll pick 3 people. So gods at digigods.com, and you're going to get Angels in Stardust. You'll be in the running. So that being said now...
Don't you care what food I'm going to give you this week?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what am I going to get? You realize I'm stuffed right now. I had a big dinner.
Couldn't care less.
Okay.
Because not only, here's the thing, is
I didn't have dessert though. I was going to.
You're about to have dessert.
I had to pick my mother-in-law up because she was stranded. So apparently car caught on fire or something. I didn't catch the whole story. I was listening to the radio on the way back. But anyway, I had to pick her up, and then on the way back, I went to Sweet Lady Jane, favorite bakery, right?
Yes.
Love Sweet Lady Jane.
There's one in Santa Monica now.
Yes, exactly. So drop by there to pick up a loaf of bread because love their fresh bread. And I looked at some of the pastries, and I was like, ooh, I think I'm going to get myself one of those caramel sea salt brownies. Ooh. Yeah. And then I was like, no, because tonight Mark's going to make me eat one of his pastries. So I chose not to.
Thank you.
I conserved my sweet tooth.
Well, I'll have you know that I don't particularly like what I made.
Yes.
I'm actually trying to get rid of it, which is one reason why I'm giving you one. Now, I'm going to do
That's
something...
becoming an ongoing thing, it seems.
Yeah, but you always seem to like it, though.
Yeah, I guess.
So, here's the thing.
Yes.
I'm not only going to give this to you and make you eat it. Mm-hmm. I've decided I'm going to take a picture of it and put it on Facebook.
Oh, well.
Because we haven't been doing that.
Okay.
I make all these things, and you eat them, and we should put it on Facebook.
Let's do it.
Because I made you homemade ring dings. Oh. It's a ring ding, but it's a homemade ring ding.
Oh, that's nice.
It is nice. So I'm going to go get the homemade ring ding.
You do that.
Because I want you...
you know what?
You're not even listening to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I don't like these homemade ring dings.
Okay.
I don't think they're that great.
Right.
But that being said, I'm going to take a picture of you eating the homemade ring ding.
Oh, that's nice.
And then post it on Facebook.
Very good.
What is that big, gigantic pile you have right there, right next to you right now?
This pile right here?
What is that?
This is
now,
a pile.
By the way, we should tell people we're going to be talking about Anchorman 2 and
yes.
Saving Mr. Banks. And all
it's fun. This is a great week. I'm not kidding you. This is a seriously
great week, which Wade will begin by talking about whatever crap he's got in his hand right now.
Well, I'm gonna get through a bunch. I'm gonna get through a bunch of crap.
That's great.
And
so Wade, start talking.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
No, I'm just sort of orienting myself.
Okay. You don't talk about the good stuff. Talk about the crap because I'm going to go get you your homemade ring ding.
Okay, fine.
And take a picture of you eating it.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Actually, there's not a lot of crap this week. It's not kind of all interesting, but I'll do the kid vid first because I know that drives you crazy.
It drives our listeners crazy.
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty good kid vid this week, actually. We've got Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 Fused Season 2, Volume 1, and Volume 2. That is such a mouthful. I can't imagine anybody being interested in this unless you actually know what that means. I don't know if the series is Hot Wheels or Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 or Fused. It's all very confusing. And it's all very kind of quasi-neo anime in the CGI style, and it's clearly for boys and not for my daughter. So I'm not that terribly interested in it. This looks like a Twinkie, or what do they call them?
It's a ring ding. It's a ding dong.
A ding dong. Thank you.
Yes, it's a homemade ding dong.
Okay, a wing ding.
It's no wing ding. It's a ding dong.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so that's Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. It's 5 episodes apiece. It's like it's cars and guys who drive cars, and it's very speed racery and kind of Battle of the Planets-y and anime-y and kind of a little bit like. What are you doing?
I'm taking a picture of you at. You realize that's going on Facebook.
All right, fine.
Now, wait, there's one more picture I want to take.
Yes.
Which I'll post both. I want people to see that my homemade ring ding has cream in the middle.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut it open.
May I see that picture that you're going to post?
Yes, you may. This is great radio, by the way.
Yeah.
Here.
Let me see.
Do you not want me to post that?
No. Don't post that. Don't post that. I look like some KABC drive time schlub.
Well, take it seriously, and then give me a nice smile. Don't stop the recording.
All right, fine. Here.
Thank you. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Yes. This will be on Facebook in a few minutes. 3, 2, 1. God, such a dork. Okay, how about this?
Yeah, that's acceptable. That'll work. It's a little too much shine on my forehead, but we don't have a makeup person, so that's fine.
I'm going to cut this open now so you can see this cream in the middle. I'll take another picture because I want everybody to be impressed that I actually made this with cream in the middle.
You do that.
You wonder to yourself, how did he get cream in the middle of this thing? Magic.
with a syringe.
Yes.
You put the cream on a spoon and you melt it over like a little Bunsen burner, and then you get a syringe and you kind of give.
Oh, this one doesn't have a lot of cream in it. Damn, too late.
That's all right. So anyway, okay, fine. Moving on. Hot Wheels.
Wait, this is great.
Hot Wheels. It's a thing. It's Hot Wheels. I don't care. It's whatever. Birds are becoming increasingly a big deal in animation. I don't really know why. Angry Birds and thank you.
Post both of them. Wait.
Let me see this.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
come on!
Let's take that again. Do that again.
Oh, that's a good one.
Take it again. No, do that again.
This is
do it again.
great internet radio, by the way. I have to say, here is nothing better. We're taking one more picture of the cream inside the ring ding.
Yes.
Homemade ring ding. Which, by the way, Wade hasn't tasted yet. It could be terrible. No, wait. No. Turn it like that so you see the cream in the middle. 3... No. Hang on, I'll do it. Right. That's it. Perfect. 3, 2, 1... Wade gave us his best Benny Hill face.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's great. Oh, Jerry would be.
Idiot.
Oh, Jerry would be proud of that one. So anyway, Birds of Paradise, Meet the Flockers. It's a pun. It's kind of funny. It gets the family approved seal thing, and it's only available at Walmart. It's not the greatest CGI animation, but it's got some good voice casting. I can't complain about anything that has John Lovitz. I'll be honest. Jane Lynch, John Lovitz, done. I'm interested. Everybody else in this thing, Ken Jeong doesn't really make me laugh anymore. Ashley Tisdale, I could care less about. I don't even know which voice she was. I wouldn't know Ashley Tisdale if somebody dropped her on me. But John Lovitz and Jane Lynch as birds, hey, I'm all over it. This is interesting. This is a 3D Blu-ray deal called War of the Worlds Goliath. And it's from the co-creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which means absolutely nothing. It's basically it's like RoboCop meets Terminator meets apocalyptic monster anime, all that crap all folded into one. It's okay. If you've seen Pacific Rim, you've seen actually a better variation on this. If you've seen Starship Troopers, you've seen a better variation on this.
I love Starship Troopers.
But it's all right. I don't know that it's okay, I guess. I watched about 20 minutes of it and seemed perfectly fine. The Pirate Fairy, Disney is throwing all kinds of money behind. This is a Peter Pan spin-off. And I'm not fond of the animation. I would have loved if they'd have just been true to it. This is like from the world of Peter Pan as imagined by the animators of Frozen. That's kind of the whole vibe of this thing. And I don't know that I like the idea of expanding the fairy universe beyond Tinkerbell. But if that kind of rocks your fancy a little bit, I suppose that this is probably okay for little girls in that sense. Feels a little violent to me. The one thing I did like about this is that they got Tom Hiddleston to do a voice. I love Tom Hiddleston. Love his voice. And a lot of lovely bonus features here. Perfectly fine for kids. It's, unless you're a Peter Pan purist, not so great. Winnie the Pooh, Springtime with Roo. Yeah, I love anything to do with Winnie the Pooh, especially Hippity Hoppity Roo and Tigger 2 and any other rhyme that I can come up with. It's Winnie the Pooh. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's great. It's just lots of fun, and it's on Blu-ray. And it's a joy. Eeyore and Piglet. It's just great. Anything to do with pigs these days, by the way, because I'm all into Peppa because of my daughter. Peppa Pig. We love Peppa Pig. Monster High, which is an ongoing thing that apparently has a following, is back with Frights camera action. I guess you also get ultraviolet on this thing. Mystifies me. It's a little bit like Bratz with fangs. Go figure. And then we also have the Green Lantern, the animated series, which is not really that good, but it's better than the movie. And I guess that's saying something. So that's on Blu-ray. from Warner Archive, by the way, so not probably as easily findable as you might hope. But that's the entire series. It's about 10 hours worth. And then lastly, one of the most bizarre titles ever. This is a Blu-ray, DVD, and ultraviolet combo set. It is an original Scooby Doo movie. Are you ready for this, Mark? Mark, you're out of the room.
I'm here.
It's an original Scooby Doo movie. Are you ready for this? Scooby Doo. And by the way, our longtime listener and good friend Alexander Berlika could not believe that this actually exists, and I agree with him. Scooby Doo, WrestleMania, Mystery, the original movie. Scooby Doo WrestleMania Mystery.
That's great.
It's a Scooby Doo WrestleMania movie. WWE Entertainment somehow finagled their way into the Warner Brothers hive mentality and said, why don't we do a joint thing where Scooby Doo meets the WrestleMania wrestlers and all this jazz. Now, it's not quite as alien as it might seem.
But by the way,
Scooby Doo, there was an incarnation of Scooby Doo in the early '70s, which I remember very well, and which reruns all the time, by the way, on Nick Jr., where they did team ups with celebrities. They teamed up with Batman and Robin, right? And Casey Kasem does the voice of Robin because he's already doing the voice of Shaggy, and you're like, Robin sounds like Shaggy if he weren't stoned. And, so their Three Stooges were there, which is a little weird because the Three Stooges in the 1970s were dead. And Don Knotts, very strange. Anyway, so this is kind of keeping in that vein, but it's still weird to me. And
let me guess. Here's what happens at the end. It turns out that the bad guy dressed as a ghost so that he can scare the townspeople away, so he can have the gold all to himself. Oh, you're trying my homemade ring ding.
I didn't watch it all the way through.
Oh. Well, no, that's the end of every Scooby Doo.
I know.
Every Scooby Doo, he dresses the villain dressed as a swamp monster, so he can scare away the townspeople, so he can get the gold.
I know that, but it's a Scooby Doo movie. Most Scooby Doos are only a half an hour long. I can't handle Scooby Doo longer than half an hour.
Okay.
And I can't handle Scrappy Doo, who's not in this, by the way. I can't handle Scrappy Doo for longer than 5 minutes.
Okay, no one cares. So
this is good, actually.
No,
and I hate ding dongs.
Is that good?
It's good.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you haven't told me anything's bad for a while, and that worries me because it makes you think you're lying.
No. Would I be eating it? Please. Give me a break. Water. No water. No, actually.
There's water over there behind your computer.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Okay, can we talk about something, please?
Yeah, please. Well, by all means, would you please tell people why Brian May is awesome?
Brian May is awesome.
Love Brian May. Brian May invented that guitar with the famous Queen sound. He and his dad invented that guitar. They built that guitar from scratch.
Now, Brian May, by the way, not only was a fantastic guitarist for one of my favorite rock bands of all time, and I believe Freddie Mercury was once named the best singer in rock and roll history.
Not surprising.
In terms of range, in terms of the way he just hits a note and keeps it, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, Brian May became a film composer.
No, he didn't.
Not.
Different Brian May.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking about the guy who did the Mad Max?
I know.
Yeah. That's not an Australian guy who's never been a rocker in his life.
I know. Anyway. So
you tried to pull the wool over our. You tried to fool our listeners. That's
yes, I did. Anyway, so last year at the Never-Ending Montreux Film Festival, live at Montreux, Brian May performed, and he was great. He did a bunch of Queen stuff, including Dust, Dust in the Wind. Okay, Dust in the Wind is not Queen. Anyway, We Will Rock You and a Crazy Little Thing Called Love and a bunch of other stuff too, including some classics. Born Free. He does Born Free.
Well,
who would have thought?
It's a pairing. He's doing it with Carrie Ellis. And it was a series of concerts, the Candlelight concerts, and So I mean, I'm completely unfamiliar with who Carrie Ellis is, but apparently Brian May considers her awesome enough to perform with her. So yeah, I thought this was fine. I love Brian May. I prefer Brian May with Queen, but it's nice hearing him kind of stretch and do some interesting things. By the way, speaking of going outside your comfort zone, did you ever do you remember when Devo did that Muzak easy listening album where it was all Devo hits done in the style of easy listening?
Clever.
That was the funniest thing ever. That was really great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was weird and surreal, but anyway, sorry.
All right, well, we have two featuring Carl Palmer, which is very strange because he's hardly like the greatest thing ever. But he was the drummer for Emerson, Lake and Palmer, which is a classic 70s, like kind of a prog rocky type band.
Yeah.
We have Decade, 10th anniversary Carl Palmer, celebrating the music of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, including a Fanfare for the Common Man and Trilogy and Nut Rocker, which is Wade's favorite song. Nut Rocker. We also have The Solo, which is a Carl Palmer DVD. This was first performed in 2010 in Birmingham. And we also have, finally, a documentary called Punk in Africa, 3 Chords, 3 Countries, 1 Revolution. This is all about the multiracial punk movement in South Africa and Mozambique and Zimbabwe. And
I'm doing my best Peter Boyle.
Wade, I can actually give you another one of those because I'm trying to get rid of them.
Really?
Yeah. You mean like right now?
Now.
To eat now?
Yeah.
Really?
Hit me.
Oh, there's a problem.
What?
It's frozen. So it might take like half an hour to defrost.
That's right. Defrost it. We got time.
All right.
We got time.
And then go talk about something else.
I'll talk about something else.
I'm going to take one out of the
Do
freezer.
that. I'm all over it, man.
I can't believe you like those.
Yeah, let's rock it. Dude, I'm going on 3 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours. That's my life. So, we got some classic music, too. Classical music. All of this stuff from Naxos, from a number of lines that Naxos carries. 3 of them from the Opus Arte line. Some interesting stuff if you are into ballet and opera and all that kind of jazz. We have 2.5 hours of opera on Glorious Glyndebourne. This is you. First of all, if Glyndebourne means absolutely nothing to you, no point here. This is all from the Glyndebourne Festival Opera. And there's Mozart on here, there's Puccini, there's Benjamin Britten, there's Verdi, there's Handel, there's Wagner, Stravinsky, on and on and on. A lot of great opera music, a lot of great opera performances. So that's just for opera buffs left and right. And then we have the ballet Le Corsaire from the Ballet du Capitole, and that's lovely. Actually, I've always heard of the Corsaire. But I've never actually seen Le Corsaire. I am increasingly more interested in ballet than I used to be, probably because I have a little girl who's eventually going to be studying it. So that's lovely. And then we also have Arthur Pita's The Metamorphosis, which is this bizarre, weird, twisted kind of modern dance interpretive performance art thing where they're kind of trying to turn Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis into like this weird modern dance monstrosity. And it's a little creepy and impressionistic, and I'm not sure I particularly enjoyed much of it. I gave this about a half an hour as well. It's I know the story of Metamorphosis. I've read it many times. Didn't quite get the transition, but anyway, this was performed in the Royal Opera House. And so it certainly feels legit in its presentation of the British Royal Ballet. So, and then there's a really cool documentary called Carlos Kleiber, I Am Lost in the World. Kleiber, famous legendary conductor who was oftentimes overshadowed by Herbert von Karajan. They were giants around the same time. And but he was, he hated the press. He hated he hated just being a part of being. He just wanted to be a conductor. He didn't like the whole public eye and the celebrity of it or any of the stuff. Really an interesting guy, and it was very much a yin and yang kind of a deal. You always have those sorts of rivalries, right? In the arts, it happened millions of times. And so this is interesting. It kind of gets inside his head and inside his career and inside the enigma that was the man. And really interesting. A lot of good interviews. So even if you're not a fan of classical music, you would find this documentary absolutely fascinating. Carlos Kleiber, I Am Lost to the World. All right, Mark.
Yes, sir.
I want you now.
You want me now? I'm not really going to...
I want you to unleash your inner Mystery Science fanboy once again. These things simply don't stop.
You really don't. I have so many of these, and it's kind of like I don't really want them anymore. I really don't. But you know what? The thing is that the only ones I like are the ones that have the, which fans of the podcast already know. I only like the ones that have the shorts, because the shorts are hilarious. Although a lot of the shorts you can get on YouTube.
Yep.
But we have two. We have... Mystery Science Theater 3029, which includes Untamed Youth, Hercules and the Captive Women, The Thing That Couldn't Die, and The Puma Man. The Thing That Couldn't Die is the funniest one.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that they're doing a little better job with the extras. Here they have new interviews with Mamie Van Doren, who starred in Untamed Youth, and that's kind of cool. Now, the one you really should kind of get, although it's not that much more exciting, is the 25th Anniversary Edition. Now, this includes Moon Zero 2, The Day the Earth Froze, The Leech Woman, and Gorjo. Now, it has a bonus disc that has Mitchell and the Brain That Wouldn't Die. Now, Mitchell and the Brain That Wouldn't Die I have on single discs. So this one I would want. Now, the extras include Life After MST3K with Mary Jo Pell, a couple of interviews, 25th Anniversary of Remembrances. So if you're a Mystery Science fan and these things are just piling up in your collection like they are with me, you might want to get a little more judicious. So definitely Mystery Science 25th Anniversary Edition. I know I can get rid of some of my single discs with that, and you should too. So there you go. Now,
all right.
I'm taking... Now, what? Are you taking those back? I'm taking this one.
All right. You here, by all means. Knock yourself out.
Do I want this?
And as long as... No, I thought you didn't want it, so whatever. Anyway, as long as we're on the schlock end of things, I want to make mention of a couple of King Kong movies. No, not anything really... Not the classic King Kong. These are from Universal, both on Blu-ray. I have no idea how Universal even wound up with these movies. They are both King Kong movies, courtesy of Toho, courtesy of the Godzilla people, who decided at a certain point that they would juice up the whole Godzilla Japanese monster movie thing with a really, really bad guy in a giant monkey suit that looks just ridiculous. And I'll tell you, first of all, King Kong Escapes, stupidest, funniest movie you will ever see. Because it's basically King Kong fighting a giant robot King Kong.
Yeah.
That is
awesome.
so Japanese. It's the worst robot. It's a guy in a big metal ape suit. It's not even really metal. It's like a big plastic. It's horrible. Boy, this was just an era that, like 100 years from now, people are going to look back and they're just going to be mystified. They won't know what to make of it. Especially Japanese people 100 years from now. They're going to look back and they're just going to think, really? Really? Why? How did that happen? Anyway, there's a mad scientist, and it just gets ridiculous. And then the other one is, of course, much more famous for reasons that mystify me. I think it's more famous for its title than anything else, which is King Kong versus Godzilla. And, the thing that's stupid about this is that...
The one thing that's stupid about it
well,
is just one
the
thing?
thing that's stupid is, it's like King Kong is only, 50 feet high? Godzilla is like 1,000 feet high, and yet in this movie they're both the same size, and I can't really tell if it's like they're like what, about 5'10" or 5'11". I guess that's about the height of the I mean, it's a couple of Japanese guys, so I think at best maybe with the suit they'd like be 5'10", right?
How dare you?
I know. Anyway. So it's King Kong versus Godzilla. Who cares what the plot is? They're both on Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray shows you how poorly shot these movies were. They are terrible. They are badly shot. These movies aren't even timed. There are entire sequences that aren't even timed the same as other sequences. It's ridiculous.
Well, because they're
It's
low
nuts.
budget and cheap and fantastic.
But they
and
weren't
fun
low budget. They built stuff.
They built small miniature stuff for some Japanese 5'10" Japanese guy to stomp on and pretend like it's Tokyo.
Oh my gosh!
You love it.
Talk about Anchorman.
Here's what I'm going to say about Anchorman. Now, I'm going to say something, Wade. That's
yes.
Good. By the way, I'm taking this. This is mine.
We will discuss it, and
that
you probably will because I don't like it.
Thank you very much.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm going to say something very controversial.
Yes.
I only saw about 20 minutes of this film. You want to know why?
Why?
I went to the screen. Now,
I know the story.
Which means that I did not see this Blu-ray because this movie has a history behind it.
Okay.
I was sitting in the screening, and at the time
I thought you saw the screening.
No. Oh, I went to the screening
because I know the story, but
at the time, yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, carry on.
At the time, I was having my very first fight with my now ex-girlfriend.
Right. Okay.
So I took my cousin who was in town to go see Anchorman 2. She's in town from Connecticut. She's never been to a movie screening. She might be kind of a fun thing. And my girlfriend didn't want to see it. So we were feuding at the time. And, it was our first fight. Didn't know what was going to happen. When you date somebody and then you get into your first fight. You don't really know how are you going to fight. You're going to fight fair, low blows. You're going to be nice about it. You're going to be adult. You're going to be childish. You don't know.
Sure.
But this one was becoming incredibly childish. I could tell already that this woman was going to fight like a just a disturbed child. So I took my cousin to the Anchorman 2 screening. I'm sitting in there wondering what is my girlfriend doing? What is she thinking? It's our first fight. What's going on? About 20 minutes into the screening, I get a text from her. And the text, as I remember it, was an emoticon of a crying face, like a yellow face with tears.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, okay, this is how it's going to be. So literally, after laughing my butt off in the first 20 minutes of Anchorman, I had to leave the theater to talk to my girlfriend. Now, as you know, these Anchorman films are pretty long. And I spent the entire rest of the movie, while my cousin was laughing her butt off, I spent the entire rest of the film arguing with my girlfriend outside the Burbank movie theater where the screening took place. So what I'm saying is, and now, of course, we've broken up. So what I'm saying is that I've seen the first 20 minutes of Anchorman. I thought it was hilarious. Then I got a text from my girlfriend because we were fighting. I left the theater to call her back. Never went back into the theater to see the rest of the movie. Wade.
Okay, so you liked what you saw then?
I think I'll put this over here.
You liked what you saw?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Okay.
Yep. But you did not.
I'll tell you, I thought it started kind of funny, and then I thought it got old and flabby and dull and just utterly pathetic for like a good hour and 40 minutes. And sort of redeems itself in the last 10 minutes, which I thought were so uproariously hilarious. I just wanted to pee. I could have wet myself. It was the last 10 minutes are just absolutely priceless. But that's other than that, it's not of any worth whatsoever. I just think it's a really disappointing sequel. It's sad. It should have been better, but it's like they're trying too hard.
So you're saying that I only saw the first 20 minutes, and that was really all that was worth seeing. I left when the movie had peaked.
Kind of, yeah. Did you see it did you see it up until they got to the whole new experimental cable thing? I mean, that's basically, for those who don't know, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows, it's like it takes place years later, and this is, they're all has-beens. And there's a new cable, 24-hour cable. It starts in the 80s now, right? We've moved from the 70s to the 80s.
There's an African-American woman.
So there's like a CNN-type operation that's being started by this psycho Australian guy, and they're all, he has to get the band back together again, and, they're all doing weird things, and Paul Rudd's doing photography, and whatever.
The RV flips over in slow motion. And
so he gets the band back together again, and they all whatever. So they somehow become this bizarre hit. He becomes a new guy, the new sensation with the new cable channel, and he and his wife have broken up, and the whole deal. So whatever. It's but once they get to the whole new cable thing, it just it just doesn't work. I don't know. It's just trying too hard. Anyway, you know what? Best film of last year, for my money, bar none. Got no Oscar nominations. Tragic. I think there was this weird, bizarre Disney backlash or something. Maybe because the movie came across to a lot of people like an advertisement for its own product. But Saving Mr. Banks is an absolutely wonderful movie. Absolutely charming, wonderful in every respect. Yep. This movie is so unbelievably good. It's so slick. It's so old-fashioned. It's just delightful. There's nothing wrong with this movie, and I urge everybody to see it. John Lee Hancock, man, the guy he's rock solid. He's rock solid. He just knows how to pull the heartstrings. He knows how to not get in the way of his actors, not get in the way of his story. Everything he did in The Blind Side, he does even better here. It's a wonderful movie. And, of course, if you don't know, it's the story of how Walt Disney had to really, really struggle to woo the author of Mary Poppins to give him the rights to turn it into the movie that we all love so dearly. And of course, she had no interest in, Peel Travers had no interest in it being a musical. She's just a cranky British lady who came over with all kinds of attitude, and everything that you see Emma Thompson portray in the movie versus Tom Hanks as Walt Disney is actually subdued. The Shermans, Richard Sherman, I think, is the one who's still alive. He's on the record as like she was so much worse. She was so much worse than what is portrayed in the movie. We just couldn't even go to
It's still a Disney film.
It's still a Disney film. She was just a horrible, horrible woman. And you even see over the end titles, the end credits, they play recordings from her sessions with the Sherman brothers. So you hear the real woman and you go, oh my gosh, it's exactly what Emma Thompson was doing. She is just a raging bitch. This woman is horrible. And yet you love her by the end of the movie as well. It's just a beautiful movie. And so many wonderful things. Great screenplay. Everything is just pitch perfect here. Paul Giamatti in a completely fictitious character, but just absolutely aces. Nothing wrong with this. I will say this, it's got very little extra content. It's a beautiful Blu-ray, but they've somehow I feel like just the deleted scenes and a couple of featurettes, they're anchoring to do something else with this. They're anchoring to do maybe a joint Mary Poppins Saving Mr. Banks mega release with a bunch of extras. I don't know. It feels like something's hooking up for the holidays. So
that's
anyway,
the beauty of the film. The fact is that this is essentially a gigantic commercial for a Mary Poppins Blu-ray, but it never feels like it.
It never feels like it. It's just wonderful. And then At Middleton, totally overlooked movie last year with two wonderful actors in it. Best thing I've seen Andy Garcia do in a long time. Vera Farmiga just can do no wrong in my book. Vera Farmiga, you could just...
She's great.
She could just sit on a park bench and stare at a camera for 3 hours. I'd watch that movie. At Middleton, from a first-time director named Adam Rogers, who's quite talented, both as a writer and a director. And this is just delightful. It's a little bit like One Fine Day. Did you ever see One Fine Day?
I did. That was the Clooney thing.
Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right.
Couple of single parents.
A long time ago.
You know, they just meet through their kids, and it's like these two single parents who just connect and they have a whole wonderful romantic Hepburn and Tracy moment. Anyway, here Andy Garcia, Vera Farmiga, they're at the same college orientation with their kids. And they wind up sort of leaving their kids and bailing on the whole orientation and just sort of having this wonderful romantic moment with each other on the day when they're supposed to be adults and they're like reliving their college years. And it's actually really, really sweet, and they're both wonderful in it, great chemistry. And it's not a deep film, but it's a really honest film and beautifully acted, very nicely put together. So I think Rogers, who does a really good audio commentary, it really deserves some kudos. Andy Garcia deserves credit too for taking this on as a producer and helping to make it happen. And I give him all the credit in the world. So really nice, good stuff, really good stuff. And that is At Middleton, beautiful on Blu-ray. And real quickly, I was not a fan of Your Highness. I'm even less of a fan, oddly enough, as much as I hated Your Highness, I'm even less of a fan of Knights of Badassdom. What the? Seriously? What? Come on, Peter Dinklage. You're in Game of Thrones, man. Why put your cred on the line with this horrible thing?
Because he's not 100%. He is not castable in everything for reasons that are pretty obvious.
He did this after Game of Thrones. He went and did Knights of Badassdom. Why? Steve Zahn, what are you doing? You've got your career back on track a little bit too.
Really?
What the hey you do? Why? Ryan Quanten, you're kind of trying to become a legit guy. Why are these people in this just dreadful, stupid movie? It's like Your Highness, except even worse. It's not good. Anyway, it's just stupid. I can't even get into it. Anyway. Don't see it. And Delivery Man, Vince Vaughn.
Dud.
Man, how did this not work?
How did it get made? I mean, come on. I feel like this should have come out like in 1996.
Okay, but you know the history of this, right?
Oh, it's about a delivery man.
Yeah, but this is a remake
of
a French-Canadian film.
The dud.
It's
more of a dud.
You didn't know that?
I did not.
Really?
Neither did
that
you.
Was no, I did. I had to review the French Canadian film.
You made that up.
No, I didn't. It's the French Canadian film was Starbuck.
Oh yeah, never heard of it.
Starbuck, and that wasn't even that funny, to be honest. I gotta tell you, I mean, it was like, all right, it's kind of cute, and they're trying to be heartwarming and whatever. He's a guy. He donated his sperm for a long time, and he finds out he's got like 500 and some children, and they're all grown up, and he tries to become kind of guardian angel overseer to, several of them and whatever. But I don't know. Vince Vaughn has typically picked a lot of great projects, but this one is not one of them. And it was not a film that should have been remade. And in the process of remaking it, they made it even duller than it was the first time. It's supposed to be kind of the idea here is, if you look at him as a little bit like not so much a Scrooge, but as kind of a schlubby Scrooge, right? And by connecting with the children that he has astonishingly fathered, through his megasperm or whatever, that he somehow the children are like the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future or whatever, and that somehow transforms him. I don't know. It doesn't really work.
Good. You know what else doesn't really work?
Yeah.
Is the Bagman. And I have to tell you, I don't know. You know what? De Niro has gone so beyond parody at this point.
I know.
He will star in everything, anything, absolutely anything.
That's why I'm thinking, you know what? We should approach him. You, me, and Corey should approach Robert De Niro and say, will you play Mark Kaiser in IGN Digigods, the motion picture?
Really? Do I look like him?
No.
Oh, damn.
But he'd do it, right?
Why not?
And we're set.
Now the Bagman, which I can see everybody starring in the Bagman just because they want to work with De Niro, even if it's for like a couple of hours.
Sure.
So you have John Cusack, who
he's
this hitman, and he has to deliver a bag to his boss. And the movie is all about getting the bag to the boss. De Niro is the boss. You know that De Niro worked for 3 days and then got his money and then ran away. And he gets his name above the title, and it's another piece of crap. The only thing I'll say is that the movie does have Crispin Glover.
Wasn't there a Carl Carlton song from the 1980s based on this?
Huh?
He's the bag man. De Niro? No?
First of all, you're trying to be funny. Don't get it.
Okay.
So I will try to make sense of that by saying the Beatles did a song called The Tax Man.
No, the Carl Carlton. Seriously, are you
kidding me?
To me,
Carl Carlton is a character on The Simpsons.
Oh my gosh. Carl Carlton did a song called Bad Mama Jamma.
He's a bad mama jamma.
See, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in school, a friend of mine honestly thought that he was saying Batman's pajamas.
Oh, speaking of Batman, so get this.
There we go.
So yesterday...
Ladies and gentlemen, good night. This is the Stream of Consciousness train.
So yesterday,
oh my gosh,
I went to a party. It was a Family Guy party. It was a party for a new Family Guy mobile app. Now, I don't really care about Family Guy mobile apps.
Oh, I got that invite too.
Oh, I totally went. Because here's...
Can't believe you. I somehow I'm not surprised. But anyway, carry on.
You realize Adam West was there.
Was he really?
Yes, okay. And
seriously?
Adam West is badass. I don't know how old he is, but he looks badass.
I'll find out how old he is. He is...
You know what? I'm going to go right now onto...
Now I'm so upset that I didn't go.
He
is 85 years old.
He is... I am not kidding. He is badass. He looks great.
Wow. Wow. He is... You know what? That's amazing.
He looked great.
Adam West is actually like 3 months older than my oldest uncle.
What?
And my oldest uncle, he runs 3 miles a day. He's 85 too. He runs 3 miles a day. He looks fantastic. He's fabulous. But Adam West looks wicked, dude. Batman rocks.
Look at this. I mean,
I'm looking at him with the shades, man.
Look at that. He's great. So
sweet.
So I took Phil.
And he's still got the voice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he works it, doesn't he?
He is badass. For 85,
I am so gay right now. Could I tell you that?
So
I'm the straightest man on the planet, but in this moment right now, I'm flying my rainbow flag for Batman.
So
right.
Adam West was there, and he gave a bit of a speech beforehand. Just I'm the mayor of Quahog, and
nice.
He's like, whatever city you live in, I want to be your mayor too.
Yeah.
And so I took Phil.
Yeah.
Our friend Phil.
Yep.
And
who is one of the most entertaining people that we know.
Yes.
He really is.
He's short and bald.
Watching Phil in the mosh pit just 10 inches from Tom Jones' Mighty Member is one of the great highlights of my life. But anyway.
So outside, before you went in, when everybody was signing in by the tables where you give your name and you sign in, you get your little bracelet, I see Adam West looking badass.
Yeah.
So literally, not like, how nice for an older man to look bad. No. Legitimately, for any age,
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
So I say to Phil, come on, you know you want your picture taken with Adam West. And he's like, okay, let's do it. I'm only here once. I don't know anybody here. No, if they laugh at me, what do I care? I don't know anybody here.
Yeah.
So I take Phil's phone, his iPhone, take the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lock and loaded with it. He walks up to Adam West and says, Mr. West, can I have your picture? And Phil is immediately cock-blocked by Adam's publicist, who says, yeah, you know what? He won't take pictures outside. He'll take pictures inside. You know, when the event is started.
Oh.
So we thought, all right, maybe we can make that happen. Ask me if that picture ever got taken.
Never got taken.
Never got taken. No.
Man.
Never got taken.
You know what though? I'll tell you something. The original Batman TV series, coming out this year. It's coming out this year. I am going to chase down an interview with Adam West. For you and for me.
Damn right.
And I'm going to see if they have an event, we're going to do it. We're going to get Phil over there. We're going to get that picture. We're going to get that damn picture. You hear me?
It'd be great. There's actually a lot of great TV coming out soon. The Honeymooners is all 39 episodes.
Yes.
Of The Honeymooners.
Yes.
Coming by The Honeymooners, by the way.
But that's not all 39 episodes of The Honeymooners, because there are a lot of it. There's the Lost Honeymooners, and then there are Honeymooners, later episodes, yes. The new Honeymooners.
No. These are the 39 classic
classic 39, correct, on Blu-ray.
CBS, yes. And by the way, The Honeymooners, by the way, directed by a distant relative of mine.
Yeah.
Frank Sadenstein. Distant relative of mine.
Lovely.
Anyway, but here's the thing. CBS and Paramount are releasing the following shows on Blu-ray. Not only The Honeymooners.
Yep.
But Andy Griffith Show, season
I know.
1. Andy Griffith, season 1. By the way,
all Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yep.
I Love Lucy, season 1.
Blu-ray.
Yep. How awesome is that?
Yep.
Come on,
Sweet.
get some.
Kicking. Rock and roll. Lock and load. We're good.
Ooh, let's see if your second ring ding is defrosted.
And I will relate to everybody the gloriousness of The Invisible Woman, which is Ray Fiennes' second movie as a director, and I got to tell you, it's fantastic. This is such an underrated movie, wonderful, directed by Ray Fiennes from a screenplay by Abby Morgan, who did a beautiful job and who's a real up-and-coming screenwriter. And
did you really like this that much?
I thought it was great.
So
I really
stodgy.
did. Yeah, but it needs to be. It's a style. What you want? Rock and roll Dickens?
Yes, I do.
You want him like shaking his booty? You want him like like rolling his rump with his mistress? What are you looking for?
It's too
It's Victorian. It's Victorian. It's the story of Charles Dickens having an affair with a younger woman. Come on. What are you going to do? There's some speculation here. We all know that Dickens basically did have an affair with this younger woman, a substantially younger woman. Okay,
good for him.
But there are interesting details, interesting things that they fill in. I won't get into some other things, but there are things that happened in Dickens' life that may or may not have been involved with this woman, and there are some points in this film where you just go, no way, and that doesn't usually happen in these period pieces.
Wait, look at that.
All right,
that looks
sweet.
pretty good, right?
Looks
good. Right amount of cream with the chocolate around it.
Give me some. Rock on, brother. I'm going to let you go hog wild on the television in a moment while I eat this thing.
Well, but why don't you give me those DVDs and Blu-rays?
All right. Here you can be the man.
Really, I can be the man?
You can be the man.
Thank you.
Yes, you can.
I really appreciate that.
So anyway, the Invisible Woman is on Blu-ray and DVD combo set from Sony Pictures Classics, and it's just lovely. Ray Fiennes, of course, plays Charles Dickens, and the amazing, can do no wrong Felicity Jones plays his mistress, Nellie, and
Nellie, a sophomore.
Great commentary with Ray Fiennes and Felicity Jones. One of the best I've heard in a very, very long time. Red carpet from the Toronto premiere, and there are SAG Foundation conversations with Ray Fiennes and Felicity Jones, mostly just kind of publicity stuff. And I got to tell you, it's a beautiful Blu-ray. The film is beautifully shot on film. Really preserves the very nice look. Rob Hardy did a great job capturing the period and the whole dusty sense of the Victorian era. And I just think it's a really sharp, very literate, beautiful film. I put it in the same league as Her Majesty Mrs. Brown with Judi Dench and Billy Connolly from back in the 90s. Same type of film, same kind of feeling, really great. And I got to say, Felicity Jones, who, by the way, came storming onto the scene in Drake Doremus's Like Crazy, which a lot of people hated, including our friend Ray.
Me.
I love that movie. It's a beautiful film.
So
it's freaking awesome. Have you seen his new film with her?
No. What is it?
Breathe In. Just opened. Actually, it opens. Yeah, it's just opened in L.A. You didn't catch any screenings, did you? Loser. Breathe In. She's amazing. She's so it's like unbelievable. Director Ramis, same director.
She's
right?
great.
Same cinematographer, the same kind of vibe. This time it's Guy Pearce plays a cellist and a music teacher. She comes, he's got a daughter who's in high school, and Felicity Jones plays this British exchange student. She's 30 years old. She's playing an exchange student in high school. That's how amazing she is. And she comes from England, and of course, disrupts the whole. And I know everybody's thinking, oh, she seduces him and all this, but it's like, man, it's Malikian. Can I say that? It's Malikian. It is really awesome. Breathe In is just wonderful. So anyway, Invisible Woman, also awesome. Totally cool. I'm going to eat this. You talk television.
Oh my God. Enough with the movie no one's ever going to see.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 box sets. And when I say box sets, I mean a bunch of DVDs that they stuffed into a bigger box and called it a box set. First, we have Here's Lucy, the complete series. Now,
finally, this has been on. I know I'm supposed to let you talk, but I'm going to say this has been on public domain crap for a long time. Thank goodness, finally comes out a complete series in a proper release.
That is right. Now, this show ran from 1968 to 1974. The Lucy Show was the show was this major sitcom she did after I Love Lucy. Not that wasn't popular, but Lucy really wanted her 2 kids to star in a show. So she launched Here's Lucy, which stars Lucy Arnaz and Desi Arnaz Jr. And this thing lasted for a long time. It was never my favorite show. It had some great guest stars, including Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, Jackie Gleason, Jack Benny, who we'll talk about in a second. A lot of great guest stars, because Lucy was back then just as much of an icon as she is now.
She was so powerful. She could do anything she wanted. She was unbelievably powerful.
Do you realize, people don't realize that Desilu Productions, like a major production company for the time, Desilu Productions produced Star Trek. Mm-hmm. That was like,
right.
You realize that I love, like Lucille Ball. Oh, Lucille Ball, who cares? She's a small comedian. No. Without Lucille Ball, possibly, no Star Trek.
That's right.
Put that out there.
That's right.
Gene Autry show. Now, this is old school
lame.
TV, folks. Really?
Lame. Yeah, lame.
You know what it is? They're quaint. Mm-hmm. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. This ran from 1950 to 1956, so this is the early days of television.
If he weren't so beloved as the original owner of the Angels, wouldn't even be quaint. It'd be just lame.
Yeah, but what I love about the old shows, especially the ones like early in the run, is how they have like the sponsors are built into it. Like the early shows were sponsored by Wrigley's Doublemint chewing gum.
If I took this very dull knife right now with cake on it, and started stabbing you, would this recording could it be admissible as evidence?
Okay. Moving on from GSP. Okay, the Jack Benny program, loved it. This is the Jack Benny program, the Lost Episodes. This has about 10 of these. And Jack Benny was one of the originals, one of the greats, great comedian, great talk show host, great personality, great raconteur, great storyteller. Mm-hmm. He was absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. He had a 30-year career, and he was one of the greats of American comedy, especially during the early years of TV. The Lost Episodes include guest stars like Natalie Wood, Gary Cooper, George Burns, Dick Van Dyke, John Wayne, Milton Berle, and it's great.
Awesome.
Absolutely great. Includes a 20-page booklet. If you're a fan of vintage television, go for it. If your parents remember who Jack Benny is.
Oh my God! Even if you're not a fan, just Jack Benny, man.
Great
stuff.
Medical Center is finally out.
Man, that is a weird show.
This is the first season. It just seemed like just a generic. Like Chad Everett kind of had a moment as like a handsome young star, but I just thought he was lame.
Chad Everett has only had one truly great moment in his entire career. Only one. And it's that cameo that he has in Mulholland Drive with Naomi Watts. Oh. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
It is an amazing scene. That is a great, great scene.
All right, 6 discs, 26 episodes. The series ran from 69 to 76. There were a lot better doctor shows than this before and after. So Medical Center, I mean, maybe if you're nostalgic for it, because you knew when you were younger, great. Yeah. Otherwise, forget it.
Yeah.
A couple other stuff for TV. We have the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. Now, there was just, as you know, about a month ago, Wade just gifted us and gifted me with a box set to end all box sets of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. This is a smaller set. Fits nicely on your little shelf. This one only includes Betty White, George Burns, Muhammad Ali, Telly Savalas, Red Fox, and a couple others. But it's got six DVDs, 17 roasts. I love these things. These things are great. They're old school. They're funny. They're ribald. They're out there. They're just classic. It's just classic. I love seeing all these guys just old. You done with that already?
I'm done, man.
God,
I'm done. And you're gonna have to, when you're done with TV, I want you to get me some water, and then
There's
I'm
water
gonna.
there.
Please.
Okay, fine.
I had to wash your big chunk of chocolate down with something.
Ooh, really? Well, part of the reason I didn't like it was because I thought I should have used more a sweeter chocolate.
Oh yeah, that's
Sweeter
what it needed.
chocolate.
It needed to be sweeter. It's sweet. It's like the sweetest thing I've ever had.
Really?
My face is caving in on itself. It's so sweet.
All right, Wade.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I never thought I would see the day when, and they did a good job too packaging this thing. Little House on the Prairie
Made it to Blu-ray.
made it to Blu-ray, season 1 and the pilot.
Yeah, and they're pushing the rest of it out pretty briskly. Like season 2 and season 3 are already on deck. They're by the end of the year, the whole series will be on Blu-ray, and they'll have like a big Christmas Blu-ray complete series deal. I mean, it's weird to me.
I kind of grew up on this show. It premiered in 1974.
Yeah.
And it went on for almost 10 years. It ended in 1982. And Michael Landon, who died of cancer many years ago, but I remember at the time, he was like kind of one of the first. He was one of the first TV personalities that I grew up with who died.
True.
In some tragic way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this show really had a moment. This show brought us, of course, what's her name? Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah.
And, so based on the classic
you.
novel, actually it's a series of Little House novels by Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yes.
It's great. The Blu-ray, NBC, Lionsgate, they did a terrific job.
Yes.
They have the screen tests of Michael Landon and Melissa Gilbert. They have a documentary, which is pretty good. A lot of new interviews. And it's great. I have to say, Little House on the Prairie, watching the show now, I realize it's just a little too quaint and 70s to really hold up. But you know what? Your kids will love it.
Yep.
Honestly, I think it's totally cool.
Yep.
Less than totally cool is the 5th season of 8 is Enough. This show is just terrible. What were we thinking? This is one of those what were we thinking kind of shows.
I know. You're like, that was a pretty good show. Christy McNichol and Dick Van Patten. You watch it again, you go, oh, wow, really? Ooh.
I had dinner with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago at the Local Peasant, which is my local watering hole. It's a nice gastropub type restaurant. And I get in there, I see my friend who had gotten there early. She got there about 10 minutes early to grab a table because it gets crowded. And I walk in there, and the first thing she says to me, this is like about 2 weeks ago, she says to me, do you realize who was sitting at this table right before we sat down? Dick Van Patten.
Oh. By the way, speaking of, dude, Monday, do you want to go to Catalina Supper Club?
What's that?
On Catalina Island.
On Catalina Island?
Next Monday.
I got to work.
Dude, Linda Carter's performing. Sweet, right?
Are you going to that?
I got a baby, but I'm thinking about packing her up and maybe flying over, taking a little Cessna over and drop down and.
Wait, where would you get a Cessna out of like Santa Monica Airport?
Yeah, why not?
Could you do that? Could you
Sure.
go from Santa Monica Airport to Catalina?
Of course you could.
Really?
Yeah, charter a little plane.
Charter a plane.
Drop a little C note, say take me to Catalina, bro. Yeah,
that's
drop
not
on
gonna
down to Linda Carter Supper Club.
Not gonna
Woo, Linda Carter, spin around, spin around.
Not gonna happen.
Deflect some bullets. Woo, yeah.
See, at first I thought you were really going to go. Now I just realize it's a big goof.
If
Finally,
I could, I would. I swear I
Psych.
would.
Finally, we have Psych, the 8th and final season of the show. I don't know how the show. All these USA shows are just terrible. They're all just quirky and
Lasso
anonymous
me.
and-
Make me tell the truth. Lasso me.
Anyway, 8th and final season of Psych. It's 3 discs and a bunch of deleted scenes and behind the scenes and a bunch of crap. This show is just another stupid USA.
Seriously,
USA
who
show.
would not want Wonder Woman tying them up?
Well,
Linda Carter shows up with that lasso. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
well, not
seriously,
not
come
at 65
on.
years old.
Come on, she looks fantastic, dude. She has not aged. She is not. She's like Lindsay Wagner. She's like all the Charlie's Angels. All of those women from the 1970s who were on ABC. Something about the whole ABC family in the 1970s. Absolutely amazing.
Our little Lindsay Wagner, by the way, 64 years old. Okay, wait, we're done.
Wicked awesome.
We're done.
No, we got a few other things. We got a few other things. Real quickly, we got to blow through some really, really good classic vintage stuff here. We'll probably have to continue some of this other stuff next week, but we got some Twilight Time titles that I really want people to be very much aware of because this is great stuff. Twilight Time, first of all, brand new Fargo, newly remastered, Blu-ray, looks fantastic. Special features, you got a Deacon's commentary, which is fine. He's a little dry, but it's fine, and a couple of featurettes, and it is what it is. But really, really good remaster. I mean, compared to the previous Blu-ray, I know people are like, I bought the Coen Brothers Blu-ray set. Yeah, and why they do make me double dip? It is worth upgrading. Definitely worth an upgrade. So that's Fargo. Twilight Time. Who always comes up with really, really great license titles. Fever Pitch. No, not the Jimmy Fallon Fever Pitch. The one that turns it into a baseball story. The one in which pitch means the soccer field, the original subject of the Nick Hornby novel. Did you ever read Fever Pitch?
No.
Nick Hornby book? So good. Nick Hornby's he's God, man. He rules.
High fidelity.
If you're a soccer fan, this just speaks to your soul. And it is really absolutely fantastic. Directed by David Evans, who has become known for directing Downton Abbey since. This is a 1997 film, by the way. This is just like the quintessential soccer film. And it is really, really wonderful. And I can't get enough. And if you're a soccer fan, this is Colin Firth at his very, very best. It is wonderful. So that's Fever Pitch from 1997. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia has a real cult following, and this is Twilight Time helping MGM celebrate its 90th birthday. And this is I'd say one of the more controversial Sam Peckinpah films. Definitely worth checking out. If you're a Peckinpah fan, it's a must. If you're not a Peckinpah fan, you probably want to kind of get yourself a little prepared for it. It is, boy, I'll tell you, it may be the best thing that Warren Oates has ever done, but it can be.
No way, Warren Oates he's Sergeant Hulka, our big toe.
Yeah, of course he is. And then also a limited edition release from Twilight Time of Conrack, which doesn't get enough credit. This is a Martin Ritt film, starring John Voight as basically as Pat Conroy, based on Pat Conroy's memoir about his time when he was teaching on an island near South Carolina to primarily really, really poor black children. And it's a terrific film. It's really, really good, and it has a surprisingly great early score from John Williams. And then lastly, we've got Equus, the film version of the play that keeps getting done over and over and over. I think Broadway has had like 97 revivals of Equus, and it's Peter Shaffer wrote Equus, great screenwriter. The movie was directed by Sidney Lumet, who seems a little bit out of his element at times. It seems a little hamstrung by the theatricality of it, but there's some great performances here, especially by Joan Plowright. And Jenny Agutter. Jenny Agutter just can do no wrong whatsoever. But, it's Warhorse, it certainly is not. And then lastly, All the King's Men, which very deservedly won Best Picture in 1949, is basically from director Robert Rossen, this is basically a very thinly fictionalized story of Huey Long, and it is a powerful, devastating, great film. One of the lesser-seen Best Pictures of all time, but definitely worth seeing. The last Best Picture of the 1940s, and really kind of a powerful transitional film. It's, it's sort of, you can tell that you're moving from the 40s into the 50s with All the King's Men. So really a first-rate movie, and a terrific, very, very deserving Best Actor performance from Broderick Crawford, who is amazing in it. Broderick Crawford, never a real superstar actor, but he kills it in this. Mark, have you fled? Are you gone? Mark?